Good morning, children. Next chapter. In the previous chapter, I think I took up second chapter. Am I right? Science. So we are finished with 2 chapters of chemistry. Now we'll take up a biological chapter. Chapter 6, life process. Now, can you tell me what is the meaning of this life process? They are showing you just a heart over here. Am I right? Well, all the processes, biological processes which takes place in your body, not only your body, any living system, plant or animal, all the biological processes which takes place in a living system, which helps the system to be maintained living, that is called the life process. The more appropriate term would be, I would say that it is physiology. Physiological process is called life process. Correct? Now, in the very first page of your chapter, here there are many questions asked. If you read through, you are now having the textbook with you, am I right? If you read through it, they have mentioned about different situations like the running of the dog, chewing of cud by the cow, okay, man shouting or walking around and all these things. And then they are asking you that you are able to know whether they are living or not. But what about the plants? They do not move around, so are they living? That is a question which is asked over here in this much section. If you read and find it, you will come to know. So usually our concept of living is, if I want to know whether a person is living, if you want to check whether a person is living, the person should move, either visible movement, or if the person is lying, then at least there should be a movement of the chest or the stomach during respiration, breathing, isn't it? So we try to check whether the person is alive or not, whether the animal is alive or not, if there is some visible movement. But in plants there is no visible movement, still it is living, because there also movement is there, but it is molecular level of movement. So therefore, whenever anything is moving, either visibly or invisibly, that is at molecular level, if there is a movement, then we term that it is, that particular animal or plant is living. Correct? So some sort of movement, either related to growth, is necessary, growth or not, is necessary to term that it is alive. Clear? When you talk about molecular movement, in case of virus, see, virus again is coming at present, it is a nightmare for us, isn't it? Yeah, corona is a nightmare for us. So we all are now in our respective home. So this virus is not either living or non-living, because it is a very tricky system. It doesn't have its own biological mechanism. It uses the mechanism of the host cell. So the virus outside the body is inactive. But the moment it enters the body, whether plant or animal, it will utilize the mechanism of that particular body, that is a host body, to perform its function, to perform its life process. Therefore, it's a tricky fellow. Okay, viruses are very tricky, and hence we are still not able to have a vaccine found for this particular present pandemic. Anyway, so life processes. So in this particular first page of the chapter, you get an idea about whether the person is living or not, whether the animal is living or not, plant is living or not. Okay, so from this just gives you an introduction into what a life process is about. Whereas the next page, what are life processes, isn't it? So the next page gives you a fairly good idea about which are the different life processes that you come across in your life. Means which are the life processes that helps you to sustain and maintain your body. Okay, so instead of going through this particular page, I'll just sum it up, because the various life processes that you come across in your day-to-day life are here. The life processes are referred to as physiological processes. So you find that for any physiology you require energy, isn't it? So from where do you get energy? Well, you get energy from the food you eat. Am I right? So the nutrition, this particular physiology is called the nutrition. Nutrition is where the moment you place the food into the mouth, and then it goes down your digestive tract and finally gets absorbed into your system, and then it is acted upon. So it becomes a nutrition process wherein the various processes are involved. Finally, the nutrient becomes a part of your body. That is called the nutrition. Okay, so it is one physiology. Now that nutrient which is absorbed has to be converted into energy. For that, respiration is yet another process. Respiration involves again a series of various processes by which the food nutrient is then further broken down and energy is liberated. During this, for the requirement of breaking down process, there are certain materials which are required. Now that has to be brought to the cell. So there will be the transport system, or you call as a circulatory system, coming into picture. So another physiological process, circulation. During the process of breakdown, there will be waste which are produced. So that waste has to be eliminated from the body, step by step. So for this, there is an excretion process involved. Correct? Along with that, all these systems have to be coordinated. They have to be connected with each other. They have to be informed with each other, isn't it? There should be a relation between each other. All these systems should be connected. So for that, there is a coordination brought about. That is either nervous or chemical coordination. Both are of course required. In case of plants, nervous coordination is not there, whereas it is more chemical coordination. In case of higher animals and plants, it is nerve as well as chemical coordination. Chemical coordination is also called the endocrine system. Okay. Then finally, there is reproduction, because it's not that a particular animal, once it dies, it is the end of the world. That species is over. No, it gives rise to another one. The world is full of all the creatures. What is the reason behind it? It is because of the phenomenon of reproduction. So, basic 6 physiological processes: nutrition, respiration, circulation, excretion, nerve coordination and chemical coordination together, and reproduction. Clear? So these topics are covered up over here in this page of yours. You come across all this. The first paragraph gives you an idea about the nutrition, that food is required for the various processes which are taking place in your body. Okay, and the nutritional requirement is looked after the nutrition life process. Then the second paragraph deals with the respiration, that these nutrients which are absorbed is then to be broken down by various processes, various reactions, and finally energy is liberated. That is what respiration is about. Then you have a very important section over here. What is that important section telling you? That in case of single-celled organism, since most of their body part is in direct contact with the environment, in them there is no elaborate circulatory system. In fact, the contents from the environment just simply diffuses into the cell, and from the cell the waste will simply diffuse into the environment. So simple diffusion is enough for a single-celled creature to perform their function. No circulatory system is required. But in case of multicellular organism, all the cells are not in direct contact with the environment. Okay. So therefore, there you cannot have a simple diffusion to do the work. Again, diffusion is a very, very slow process. And for a multicellular organism to be operated, to be functioning, it becomes very difficult if it only works on diffusion. So therefore, there is an elaborate circulatory system. Okay, transport system is there, in which there are various processes involved. So it's not simple diffusion which is doing the work in multicellular. Then you are having the next paragraph, in which it gives you an idea about how the functioning takes place in multicellular organisms. The transport system, why it is necessary. This is giving you an idea about the single cell and multicellular, and here it gives the significance of the transport system. Okay, there is a need for transport system because oxygen, carbon dioxide and various other nutrients and the waste has to be transported to respective parts of the body. So for that, there should be a transport system in the body. Finally, for all these parts to be connected, when the transport system and when the other function systems are functioning, there will be waste produced which might be harmful to the body. So that waste has to be periodically removed, and therefore there is a role of excretion coming up over here. Okay, so this page of yours, that is page number 94 of your textbook, gives you an idea about the significance of various systems which are necessary for the functioning of the human body. Clear till here? So this is just an introduction, nothing much from this particular part of the chapter. Okay, so here you are having a small section of blue questions given over here. So let us very quickly go through this blue question. First question is, why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements in case of multicellular organisms? Just now I gave you the answer. Diffusion is a very slow process, and most part of the cells of the multicellular organisms are not in direct contact with the environment. So therefore, you require an elaborate system, you require a more better system than diffusion. It is not sufficient. Clear? I have already marked the answer over here. You can take it down if you want. These lines which have been underlined is the answer to this particular question. Clear? Okay. Now the next question which is given over there is, what criteria do we use to decide whether something is alive? In the beginning of the chapter I told you, how do you decide whether the organism is alive? Yes, you check whether it is moving. It might be an active movement, it might be a passive movement. Okay, passive means sust, slight movement. Active means immediately springing up to the feet and running, movement, very vigorous movement, that is active movement. So, movement is a criteria. That movement can be related to growth also. The movement can be related to something other than growth, like respiration, breathing, isn't it? Even molecular movement, the molecules which are moving with the cell is also a sign of living. Okay, so these are the criteria, these are the points which are kept in mind to decide whether the organism is living or not. What are the outside raw materials which are used by an organism? Normally we require oxygen, water, isn't it, for our normal functioning. We require nutrients, that means food is required. So there is a basic raw material which is required by organism. Carbon dioxide in certain cases, especially autotrophic plants, they require carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. So it becomes a raw material. Clear? Okay. So basic raw material, if they ask you, you can write carbon dioxide, water and oxygen. What process would you consider essential? Can you say any one process is essential? No, all the processes are essential. You cannot say nutrition is essential and reproduction is not. Or reproduction is essential but circulation is not, like that. You cannot pick up any one process, because life of a living system depends on all the processes which are integrated together. So processes like respiration, nutrition, circulation, transportation, reproduction, chemical and nervous coordination, all these various processes are very, very essential for maintaining life. Clear? No need to write these answers. This is just for your understanding. You may just scribble it somewhere in your textbook also, no problem. But this is not to be written in your classwork. Okay? Whichever is to be written, I will definitely let you know. Thank you.